Okay, I think we're here.
Dun, dun.
We're here. We're here. Mom says we're not live yet. Well,
am I supposed to do anything?
I don't know, Mom. Can you not? Anyways, hi. Okay, so how's it going, Chelle?
It's going all right. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm excited about this, testing it out. I've been having a lot of problems and trying to get the timer thing going on. Oh, look. Okay, see, you're fine. So how do you show them? There you go. Look.
Hi.
Okay, so this is going to be awkward. This is going to be really awkward because I have never done this before, but I'm testing it out because I've got Lunaralong coming up. On the 13th, we're doing reading sprints. So I wanted to see how this whole process worked. And Chelle agreed to help me.
Shows I have no life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I figured we'll just give this a go. I was having a little bit of trouble getting I was able to get the timer up, but I was like, I have to refresh it every single time or something along those lines. So I don't know if that's a glitch for the system or just a me problem.
Yeah,
we're going to practice this, which is probably pretty likely. What are you drinking tonight?
I don't even know. Something Swan beer.
Something Swan. Where did you get that
I think
from?
it's called White Swan. Stuff Quinn left at my mom's house a long time ago, and Mom was like, when she was moving stuff around, trying to get stuff out of the garage, she's like, "Do you want the beer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, free beer."
Fantastic.
Say no to alcohol.
Yeah. How old is it, do you think?
Does beer go bad? It's fermented.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Well, actually, wine and stuff does. We opened up a bottle of champagne, an old bottle of champagne, yesterday, and it was vinegary. Mom got to try it.
But wine shouldn't because it's aged, right? I mean, that's like this big deal is to, oh, I got a bottle of, 1980.
Not all wine. It doesn't work for all wine. How come that's showing up? What?
I was laughing at your mom.
Oh. Well, I'm drinking my favorite drink of choice, scotch, as usual. Scotch.
I knew it was some alcohol.
Poor Mom. Yeah, she did. She was like, we're going to use this old bottle of champagne. And I was like, oh, you get to try it then. So,
Made her the guinea pig. I love it.
Well, she's the one that found it. So we made those drinks last night, though. They were grapefruit tequila mimosas, and they were strong. Oh, they weren't tequila. I said tequila, but it was actually Bacardi rum. So they were grapefruit rum mimosas. It was supposed to be tequila, but we didn't have any.
You're not supposed to combine wines with hard alcohol. I feel like it's a really bad idea.
I mean, I'm not sick today or anything like that. It was strong, though. That one drink. Well, it was a pretty big cup because to use the one whole champagne bottle. So it was it was one shot each in each drink for the. It was one shot each of the tequila. No, it was rum, and then it was half of a bottle of.
So many differences. So many differences between rum and tequila.
Yeah, so it was. Anyway, it was a half a bottle of champagne, so it was pretty strong. Oh my gosh! Hey, KL, I don't know I don't know why you're excited about this because it's going. It's going to be terrible.
I don't know either.
It's going to be terrible. But I'm glad you're here. Oh goodness, yeah. So that was pretty strong, but I didn't get sick or anything. So that's it. Hey, so what are you reading tonight?
I'm going to be continuing with my Lincoln Rhymes. Woo! Lincoln Rhymes series. Jeffrey Deaver. I know, it's really hard to see. Jeffrey Deaver, Broken Window. It's got like a fingerprint and a bunch of numerical numbers. It has
Okay,
to do
and
with
that
the computer code. This particular mystery, they use it's all about, you know, pretty much hackers being able to get all the information out of your life and figuring out how to destroy your life with that information.
oh, thank you, KL. I love chatting with you too. Um, so, Chelle, remind me that series. What is it? Is it based off a movie you saw, or based off a movie or something?
No, they made a movie based off the book. It's the first book in the series is The Bone Collector, and that had a movie and a TV show based on it, and it's amazing. And so it's actually like 12 books in that series
Which one you
ish,
want?
I think. 8, I think.
I like the hollow on the cover. That's pretty cool.
It's good. It's really good.
A Dream So Dark. Yes, that book I made her. Another book I made her read.
That's just me.
It's typical. Let's see. Okay, Naomi's reading. Oh, hi, Naomi. How you doing? Reading Persuasion. Ah, well, I love Persuasion. That is my favorite so far. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite so far. You've already read all of them, haven't you, Naomi? Kayla. Oh, how is it? How is You Should See Me in a Crown? I need to read that one. That one looks so good.
You can add it to your 17 books this next month.
I'm reading. Okay, so I was reading Outlander. Oh, I just hit myself in the head. I was reading Outlander, and I think I'm a little burned out at the moment because of Ship of Magic, which wasn't a good bad burnout. Just I'm like these big epic books. I'm having a hard time. So then I picked up The Last Unicorn, which is a nice little kids book. Well, actually, I think it's YA, and I'm having a hard time getting into it also. So
Is it what the movie was based on?
yeah, and we got the movie from the library, so I want to finish this, or I want to read this so that we can watch the movie. Yeah, so yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, I thought you'd read Persuasion, Naomi. It is. It's so good. It's so good. I love that one. Oh, good. I'm glad you're liking it, Kale. I've been wanting to read that one for a while, so let's see. I think I'm like halfway through right now. Yeah. Okay. Are you reading it ebook or audio? Yeah, so I'm just not excited. I'm just not excited about these two books right now. I mean, they're not bad. This one's I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Would I read The Outlander and enjoy it?
It's very historical fiction.
So no. Okay, we're good. We got that answered.
Yeah, it's a little slow in the beginning. So I'm sure that I just think for right now my brain, or I think right now I'm just a little burnt out. That's all. After reading Ship of Magic, which I loved, and you finished last night.
Near 1 o'clock in the morning, but I did finish it.
I can't believe you read that 809 page book you read in how many days?
2.
I'm done with you. Okay, you borrowed it from the library. Yeah, I know that you borrow a lot of books from the library. So yeah, I really do need to read. I need to read so many books. It just doesn't happen. Chelle and I had a conversation about this today, that I have been overdoing it lately. I need to give myself a bit of a break, which fair. Yeah, I know. I'm an overachiever. What can I say?
Yes, you are.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, well, should we attempt to do a sprint and give it a go? See how it works? See if we can do this? Was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I'm good. You can do it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am, and I just have too many ambitions, but I don't have the energy for all my ambitions. So that's something I got to keep in mind. Okay, so we are going to attempt a sprint. Yeah, we're going to attempt a sprint. We'll see how it goes. And bear with me, guys. Bear with me. How long should we do it for? 30 minutes?
You want to?
Okay, let me get up my timer. All right, let's see. Okay, you ready? We're going to start this thing.
I don't know. Is there a start button? Yeah.
I guess we have to go mute now, Chelle. All right.
All right.
How's it going?
I don't know. How's it going?
You're not sure? It's going all right. How did it go for everybody else? Like, I was trying to read this and I decided I can't read it right now. So then I'm getting back to Outlander, which I'm enjoying this more. So that's where I'm at. Are you okay? You're making faces.
Well, I can't see. Everything's like frozen on my side.
Oh, really? Me too?
Yeah. Yep. So.
Oh. Hello. Welcome. Oh, thanks, Naomi. I said in the chat, I said, please be patient. Thank you for being patient with me. This is my first time. Let's see. Mom got 25 pages read. Good job, Mama. I didn't. Yeah. Anybody reading anything, getting to any parts that are really exciting? It's always difficult sometimes when you get to like the parts that are really climactic and then the timer stops. Chelle's having problems.
Chelle's having problems. How about my cat?
Ah, okay. So you're pretty close to being finished with Persuasion, Naomi. So which one of, I'm sure you've already said this, but which one is your favorite Jane Austen book, Naomi? Are you rereading all of them for Jane Austen July? There goes my book. Hey, Anne, welcome. You're never late, never late. And this is just a test run, and so I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. Yeah, I'm reading, back to what Naomi was saying, I'm reading Mansfield Park right now, and so I'm enjoying it. It took me a while to get into it. It certainly has some of the least likable characters, in my opinion. But I'm really into it now, but I'm at a point where I have to wait until I meet with my buddy read partner tomorrow or some point. So, Chelle, have you read any Jane Austen?
If I have, I don't remember it.
Have I made you watch the BBC miniseries with me? The one with Colin Firth?
Han, we watched that in high school.
So you remember it well.
I've seen it since, but have you made me watch it? Yes, we watched it in high school. You mean Alexis?
Oh, I don't remember. It's been so long. I mean, I watch it like almost yearly, so I don't remember. You have a much better memory than I do, so.
That's just sad.
Ah, okay. So you just, yeah, I saw that you had a review up for that, Naomi, but I wanted to wait until I finished reading it. But yeah, Persuasion is definitely, I don't know. There's something about the characters in Persuasion, the stories, you know, I think it's her shortest one, Jane Austen's shortest one, but I love the characters. I like the romance. To me, it's the most fun romance of all the Jane Austen novels, and yeah, I'm a big fan. What are you doing? Chelle is gone. Oh, let's see. Sorry, guys. Something's going on. Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree that the dialogues were interesting in Mansfield Park. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of Jane Austen. I'm becoming more and more so a fan of her as I continue to read her. I really did not like Sense and Sensibility when I read it originally. I just couldn't stand the characters. But this time I listened to it on audiobook, and just the reread in general of it, I was realizing, wow, I really actually like, I didn't mind that they were so unlikable. I was just really enjoying. Nice. Hello. I was just really enjoying the story, though. Huh?
It was totally frozen.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, oh, there she goes. She's gone. I was like, oh no, I'm all by myself. What am I gonna do? Yeah. So, anyways, like I was just saying that I am finding that I get so much entertainment out of Jane Austen's stories that it doesn't really matter if I don't like the characters. So I'm on a tangent, you know me.
She wrote Emma, right?
Yes. Did you read that?
I've read Emma for sure.
How'd you like that?
I don't remember. I think I liked it okay. I had to read it in college.
Chelle's notorious for not liking classics. I keep trying to get her to read classics, and she just hates all the I get her to read.
Yeah.
It's really sad because there's some really good ones. I think you just haven't found your niche yet in the classic genre. I still want you to read Rebecca. I think you'd like Rebecca. Maybe not. I don't know. You didn't like Mysteries of Udolpho, and that was a gothic novel. I highly recommend from
Mansfield. I hated more. I don't know if I hated that one or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest more. I can't remember.
Oh, you hated Mysteries of Udolpho more.
I think so.
You actually said to me, if I like it when I read it, you're going to question our friendship. So that
I did say that.
Okay, let's see. Naomi recommends Mansfield with Love on YouTube from. Ooh, okay. I'll check that out. I'm writing it down because I like adaptations.
You do.
Yeah, they're fun.
Tell your mom I've
ever seen. How many pages do you read?
40.
This is not a competition. Guess how many pages I read? Well, I switched books, so that doesn't count. Anne's not into classics either. Yeah,
With ya.
I think it depends on the genre of classic, though, because there's all different types of classics.
I do like some of them. Weirdly enough, the only classics I like, you hate.
Yeah, that's true. What was the other one that you liked that I didn't like? So I hated Lord of the Flies.
And I liked Lord of the Flies.
And then there was another, and I don't remember what it was. I don't think I disliked the other one.
I liked 1984.
I need to give that one a reread. I mean, it's not that I didn't like that one. That was just sort of middle of the road for me. But I do like George Orwell, so I feel like I need to give that one a second go.
Okay, see, when I say like, it means that I was required to read it in high school, and it wasn't one of the ones I hated.
Did you like Alice in Wonderland?
Yes, actually.
Classic.
I do like Alice in Wonderland.
You said you read Frankenstein recently, didn't you?
Yes.
But you didn't like that.
I didn't like the doctor at all. I didn't like Frankenstein at all. I didn't like any of his parts. I didn't like anything about him. I liked the creature.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
What are my
favorite genres?
Fantasy and romance, probably. Probably fantasy and romance. That's what I seem to read the most of. I like all of them, really, except for nonfiction and classics and historical fiction.
The ones but that I typically read the most.
I can find something. I mean, a couple of my 5 stars were nonfiction recently. I can find good stuff in all genres, but I do tend to steer towards romance and fantasy.
Yeah. Someone's jealous. Yeah, you're right, Naomi. It's not a genre. It gets kind of, we treat it kind of like a genre though, in a sense that, we go, oh, we'd read a classic. But yeah, a classic is a book that was incredible in its time. It was incredible because it was ahead of its time. It just caused a big sensation. It was something that stood out in its time for whatever reason. Sometimes it's negatively, but then it left a lasting impact in a sense. And classics can be any genre. So yeah, I totally agree with you. But we do kind of treat them like a genre, like as far as I'm going to read a classic, but we don't say I'm going to read this type of classic or I'm going to read that type of classic. Often we do, but is that wrong? Yeah.
No, I agree. I've always thought of it as a genre, but
It's not technically.
I'm pretty sure classics have their own categorization in a bookstore, which to me makes it its own genre. When I think of a book, I think of where it's at in the bookstore, in which section. Too many years working at bookstores and libraries, it's got its section, and that's where it goes.
So Chelle classifies her books by sections in the bookstore. Oh, I'm sorry, Kale. I'm glad it came back on. And yes, I'm glad you're back here. That's annoying because I'm surprised mine's lasted this long. My internet usually is really unreliable. Sorry, Naomi. Yeah, but I know that technically it's not. Yes, Wizard of Oz. There you go. I haven't read that or Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of classics that I still haven't read yet, so I've got some work to do. I didn't. There's a lot that Chelle and I were talking about that you're supposed to read in high school that I didn't read. Middle school, high school. What was the one that you were surprised that I hadn't read? The Outsiders.
Outsiders.
The Outsider.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read that. There's.
I think maybe you read it. You just don't remember.
I don't remember that being assigned for school. I really don't.
I just think it's weird because Nathaniel is 14 and he's had to do it and I had to do it. And it was required reading in that huge time period gap. And I don't know how you missed it.
But I went to a different school.
Still.
Yeah. Oh, we had to read like To Kill a Mockingbird, the Scarlet Letter, The Crucible.
That's all high school though. That's not middle school.
No, I think that was middle school. To Kill a Mockingbird was definitely middle school.
That might have been, but definitely
Scarlet Letter was definitely
high school.
No, I think it was middle school.
That's got some pretty tough subjects for middle school. Middle school was like Maniac McGee and The Year of the Bored Jackie Robinson, The Outsiders.
I didn't read any of those. Not at my school. My favorite book was The Witch of Blackbird Pond. I loved The Witch of Blackbird Pond.
And that was something I read in middle school too.
Yeah, and I loved that one. Okay. Yeah, mine is too. I live on a peninsula and we don't have like that wire or what is it? The fiber optics or whatever it is out here. So we have pretty bad internet. So Nathaniel's not really reading that many classics in school, right? He's read a couple that weren't classics.
No, he read The Giver. He read The Outsiders. He read that one book that you were going to read with him, but that's
Stamped, but that's not a classic.
No. And then he read that other one that he read with you, Of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men, that's a classic.
It was not required when I was his age.
That's interesting, Kale. How come? What did they have you read then? I'm curious what kind of books you were reading in school. Yeah, because I feel like classics are a lot of times with specific classics, there is like themes in it that are very appropriate for like this broader level of thinking. And that's typically why teachers tend to use those, because it makes, the themes themselves aren't very specific. They're very broad. And so you can have large conversations around the themes of those books. Hmm. How recent is The Giver? I still haven't read that one either,
I don't think it's recent.
but recent enough that it's a modern classic. Yeah, I've got a lot of those. You know what? I also haven't read a lot of the older sci-fi. I really want to read a lot of the older sci-fi. You don't want to read any of that, like Brave New World, and no, not at all. I think that period of time that they were writing a lot of those older sci-fis was an interesting period of history. And so for me, I'm curious because I know what was going on in the world during those times. And so I don't know. You know me, I'm just a nerd. What can I say?
I know.
I read a lot in our lit books, short stories.
The Lottery Rose.
The what?
The Lottery Rose? Is that what it was called?
I think it was just The Lottery. I read The Lottery in high school.
Yeah.
Wait,
We
in
read
Clem's
it
class.
middle school.
Okay.
Same with Nathaniel. Yeah, he read it too.
I
He was
had
very
to create my
traumatized.
own story. Oh yeah. I had to create my own story based off the lottery. And what I did was I actually took this, when they go to grab the stones, and they used it to sharpen their teeth because they're like vampires. That was my story. I don't remember that's how kind of it ended. And Clem was like, "That's brilliant." It's like the only time I probably did well in that class. So thinking about vampires early on.
All right.
Let's see. I thought it was older. Why my computer keeps popping up something? 1993. So is a modern classic 20 years old? Is that what it is? No. 50 years ago? 30 years ago? Wait, I can't do the math right now. I thought it was older.
We
1993.
would have been 10.
I think it will be a modern classic in a decade. So it's not a modern classic yet. Okay, that means what, 30 years? 40 years? We were 10. Night, Romeo and Juliet, The Raven. Yeah. Oh, really? Huh. They didn't have a lot of discussions about it. Like, I don't know. That seems kind of funny to me. Like, why read it if you're not going to discuss it? Oh, yeah. I haven't read Night either, and that wasn't one I had to read for school. Did you have to read that for school, Chelle?
I read it in college.
Okay.
I took
Pretty
a
heavy, right?
Holocaust. Yeah, I took a Holocaust remembrance class at San Jose State. It was part of my religious studies stuff. Weirdly enough, we had to read.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that is strange, Kale. I would think that if they give you that coursework to read, that you should, discuss it a little bit more. Man, I made Nathaniel discuss Of Mice and Men quite a bit. I think it's been really hard for him to want to read anything with me since. Poor kid.
No, he loved it. It's just getting him to sit down and read is difficult.
It was just so funny because he was the one that said, like, when he was telling me the questions that he was supposed to do for his homework, I was like, that's it? That's all they're asking you? It's so easy. Why aren't they asking you more complex questions? It's so bad. They were just like, they were questions where you just give, basically to see that he'd read it, but no comprehension whatsoever. The questions were not, few of the questions were based on comprehension of the material. And I was just like, what is this? What is this? Oh, I feel bad for my future students. Yeah, my teachers weren't that good either, Kale. I actually did not do well in school at all because I just was not interested. Oh yeah, I love Of Mice and Men, but how did Nathaniel actually end up liking it?
I think he liked it.
I think
Yeah,
it
I
sounded to
think
me like he liked it.
I think he liked it
Yeah.
because I think he liked all the morality
Yes. One
stuff
of his
in it.
favorite topics.
He likes to think and create problems in his head.
Yeah. Well, and you know, the funny thing is, I told him because he was like, I hate words shouldn't have meanings behind them, or, you know, like these hidden meanings. I'm like, but Nathaniel, it's like puzzles. You love puzzles. These books are basically like puzzles. There's these hidden meanings behind, you know, basically the theme of the story or the theme of these sections. And then he was more into it when he could think of it that way because he loves puzzles, or at
Yeah.
least he pretended to be. He's good at humoring me.
No, I think he did like it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fan of Steinbeck. Well, you know that.
Oh,
So,
oh,
but it's not for everyone. It's definitely not. He's definitely not for everyone.
no.
Yeah, that's a bummer, Kale. That bums me out. Oh, did you read that one?
Middle school and Bridge to Terabithia. Oh,
Oh, I didn't read
those
any of this. I don't
books
know what I
so
read.
depressing.
I have no clue what I read back then.
My brain tried to block that too. And Bridge to Terabithia. Both of those books in middle school.
What is the Red Fern Grows about, anyways?
There's dogs, and it's sad.
Oh no!
That's all
Oh
I got
no!
for you. That is all I remember. There are dogs. It's sad.
Oh, for the Bridge to Terabithia. What is that about?
Probably where the red from grows. Do they have Bridge
Oh,
to? Did they make a movie out of Bridge to Terabithia? They probably did. That's a dumb question.
there's adaptations for everything. Okay, well, you know, I read. I actually haven't read as much of Steinbeck as I like to think I have. I've read Travels with Charlie, which I gave about an average rating to, but one of my favorite classics of all time is Cannery Row by Steinbeck. So I did read part of East of Eden, and then life happened, and I didn't finish it. But I've read like at least half of that one. Chelle hates which one?
Grapes of Wrath.
Mm-hmm.
Cannery Row is okay. I tolerated Cannery Row.
Loved it.
Grapes of Wrath. Am I the only person who liked Lord of the Flies?
Tracy, you are on top of it. That's right. Lord of the Flies was one I gave that one. Oof. Amy did not like that.
Apparently, I'm the only person who liked that.
No, we're the Red Ferns. Okay, so the movie. Okay, what was the Pearl about, though? Was that about a ship? Was that about a ship, Naomi? I thought it was. I do like ships. Hey, Ship of Magic was, I loved it as much as I thought I was going to love it. And I'm not surprised that you did, but I was worried.
They were magic
like
ships. That makes them better.
Yeah. I figured you'd like Vivacia.
I actually like the other one more.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like
Paragon
Vivacia too, but I like Paragon.
Yeah, I like Paragon too. I can't wait to see where that storyline goes. Oh, I haven't ever watched the movie. Don't read the book, Kale. You don't need to.
I mean, it's not a happy book. It's not a happy book.
Well, there's a lot of unhappy books that I really like. That sounds weird. Oh, Pearl Farmer. Okay. Actually, that sounds like something I would be really interested in. I'm writing that one down because I don't. Wait, what? What does that mean?
Amy, I think if you read another Steinbeck, you have to read Grapes of Wrath, because that's another book that if you really love it, then you and I just can't be friends anymore. It doesn't matter that we've been friends for like 25 years. I draw the line.
So I started reading Mysteries of Udolpho. I'm only like, these are really, really teeny words, really, really teeny words. But I can tell already that I like the writing style. So our friendship might be ending soon.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to like stay focused and awake during that book.
I
So
can tell.
boring.
I think Naomi said, Naomi, you said you're going to be reading The Mysteries of Udolpho soon, right? Because I made Chelle read it because I make her read a lot of books. I don't make her do anything, but she does my she does the spinner for my game, my TBR game, and then she doesn't have a lot of books on her physical TBR, so then she's like her books to read. Whenever she comes up against classics and things like that, she always comes and asks me, "What should I read?" I make her read ones that I want to read or I'm planning to read. And Mysteries of Udolpho was one of them, and she was not happy with that at all. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes total sense, Kale. That makes total sense because it is very. The themes are perfect for a government class, but I say read Gulliver's Travels. Skip Lord of the Flies. Read Gulliver's Travels. Not yet. Yeah. I didn't like Handmaid's Tale either. Did you read that one, Chelle?
No, I won't read that. I don't like things that have any sort of sexual abuse in it. I try to avoid books like that. But Lord of the Flies to me was kind of like a statement on what, well, I mean, I guess it was. It's a statement on what man becomes no matter what. Like you put them together and they'll just destroy themselves. And it's true. That's exactly what we do. No matter what you do, no matter where you put us, it doesn't matter if they're 10-year-old boys or a whole group of men, women, and children, we will slowly kill each other. And it was true.
That was, yes. Chelle's not cynical at all. KL, okay. Let me say this. Gulliver's Travels is also not for everyone. And if you do read it, the third section is completely doesn't need to be there. So like I feel like the first two sections, the fourth section are perfect. Like if they had cut out that third section completely from the whole story, it would have been a 5-star for me probably. But that's my weird taste. Because Tracy says I did DNF Gulliver's Travels, so definitely not for everyone. But I loved, this is just a random example because I like to do that. I recently read 100 Years of Solitude, and I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I was watching somebody else's video who recently watched it or something, and they just could not stand it, couldn't understand it, didn't like it one bit. And I'm like, well, that says something about me. I don't know. Okay, yeah. My cat's going crazy. Yeah. So I'm buddy reading it with Beth Ann, so that's and we're trying to do it before we read Northanger Abbey. So a lot of people really like Handmaid's Tale, and I think I gave it about a road. So many people love it. I would say give it a go. I don't feel like the trigger warnings were so bad that you can't. I don't know. Look at the trigger warnings for it, Kale. I didn't feel like it was difficult to get through, but it was more from a woman's perspective. It was hard to get through because you just can't stand how poorly. I mean, just how like, it just brings into so many things into perspective. So it's very, very difficult. It makes you very, very angry. But kind of like 1984, it was one of those ones where I didn't connect very well with it. So that's why it was like a middle of the road rating for me. Should we do another sprint? Let's see what Tracy says before we do that. Yeah, see, I say, yeah, wait till you're in a good headspace for it, and then maybe give it a go, because it wasn't as, it was difficult, but it wasn't quite as difficult with the trigger warnings as I was afraid it was going to be, if that makes sense. But it was a while ago that I read it, so I could be wrong. So look at the trigger warnings. All right, let's get this thing started. See if I can get my timer up. Share my screen. All right, here we go. Oops. Hello.
Hello.
How'd that go?
About the same.
Yeah. Uh, I am enjoying this more now. I'm getting into it. Like it's starting to pick up. And so I'm trying to think about whether or not you would enjoy it.
Let's just go with no. It was a silly question.
You might like the show though,
I tend not to like time travel, like romances.
but you like Scottish books or stories set in Scotland.
No, I don't like when the characters travel through time.
No, I know, but you like stories set in Scotland, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely not like a sci-fi, time traveling.
No, I know, but what is it? Like Kate and Leopold and stories like that where one from the past is transported into the future or vice versa. And then sometimes there's the angst of, well, he's going to be sent back or she's going to be sent back and they're going to be parted. And I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just
I
not
think there's
something
going to be a lot of that.
no. Oh,
You two are so competitive. I think I made 12 pages, but this is a big book. Like, see how big this book is? So the pages are bigger. There's a lot more. I'm not making excuses. I'm okay with that. Awesome. 6 seconds ago. That's perfect timing. Oh gosh, I just love persuasion. That's it's scene, Naomi. You know it's scene. I love that scene so much. It's one of the best scenes, romance scenes in a book, in my opinion. Yeah, good timing. Good timing, Naomi. Are you enjoying this book as much as your other ones, Chelle? All the divers. You love this series, right?
yeah, I mean, there's some that I like more than others, but yeah, I really love Lincoln Rhymes and Mini Sacks, and I like his writing. Um, yeah, so far, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's mystery.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't say anything about that. I understand. Yeah. Yes, the letter. Oh, gosh, so good. So good. I need to read Persuasion again. I just read it and I need to read it again. Alone but not alone. Congratulations on finishing. Started Paris for One and other stories by. I haven't read anything by Jojo Moyers. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I haven't read anything. But that's a really popular author. Have you read anything by Jojo Moyers, Chelle?
I don't think so.
Alone but not alone. That sounds like a fun little mystery thriller. I'm guessing. Um, hey, how's your tarot readathon going?
I finished at like 5 today and decided I wasn't going to do any more.
Oh, you're done, huh? I thought you were carrying your team.
I tried. I tried. Hey, but I had well, okay, so my last tarot card I decided to read a Mitch Albom book because it was supposed to be a tearjerker. So I picked up one of his because they always make me cry. So I finished that.
I know you like
Yeah, so I started and finished today. Finished around 5. Pulled another tarot card just to see if I could find something, a short book that I could get done before midnight with this call thing.
it. Mm-hmm.
But I got the Empress, and the prompt was a book with a queendom or matriarchy. So I did a little searching, and everything I found was like really big series and books. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get that done today with everything else. So instead, I introduced my son to Mallrats.
Oh, wait, you didn't start with Clerks?
No, because I wasn't sure. I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic. um, but I wasn't sure how funny he would find it. He really doesn't like raunchy stuff. Like, it makes him very uncomfortable. And Mallrats has what's his name? Jason Lee, who still raunchy, but so funny.
How did he
So
like it?
he loved it. There was parts like that he got uncomfortable with and was like, "Mom, I can't believe you." And then there were parts that he thought was really funny. So now he wants to watch Clerks. And then we found out after we watched Mallrats, because that was my thought too. I was like, well, we're gonna watch the second one, and if you really like it, you can start watching the whole series. But I looked up something while I was trying to find out something else, and I found out that chronologically, Mallrats is before Clerks. Right? And I never even knew that. It was he did Clerks first. But the events that they talk about in Mallrats actually happens before the events of Clerks, because it all revolves around. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go into it, but apparently, if you watch it chronologically, Mallrats is first.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Don't say.
Because don't they all kind of feed into the other ones?
Yes and no, and I was trying to explain that to Nathaniel because he was curious too. Some characters, like especially like Jay and Silent Bob, they're through all of them. But some of the characters are different characters with the same actors. They do that sometimes. Like there's actors that he uses in a lot of them, but they're not always the same character from the previous ones. And then some characters do come up and, in different ones. But one of the events that they talk about at the beginning of Mallrats and is mentioned a couple times in Mallrats is one of the key events that they're talk about in Clerks. So it just happened in Mallrats, and then they're going to the thing on Clerks.
Okay. Yeah, I've got to go back and watch that. I haven't watched those movies in a while. I wasn't a fan of Chasing Amy. I think I remember that being one I was like, not a big fan. That's a lot of people's favorite. I think Clerks and Mallrats are my favorites.
That's funny. I think from what I've heard, Chasing Amy is everybody's least favorite.
Oh, really? I thought I've heard that other people are like, oh, I love Chasing Amy. I don't.
Mallrats and Dogma are my favorite.
I liked Clerks a lot. Classic. So what are you reading the rest of this weekend? What do you have left for TBR now?
I think I only have like 4 books left. I don't remember. I already don't remember. I have this, The God Delusion, the middle grade book. Maybe only 3 books left.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, we still have how many days left thankfully we have, because it's going to take me a little while to get through this. I've got quite a few pages left.
Yeah.
And I'm starting new books on Monday. Yeah. Well,
I think I'm close to 30 books for the...
Oh, that's what that one book was about. Close to 30 books.
For the month.
Yeah, I think that sounds like enough. Yeah, like last month, the first 2 weeks of June, you had read 25, and I was just like, what? Who are you?
Okay, but that was one of those like burnt out periods. I managed to get like 25 done in 2 weeks, and then I took a whole week break.
Yeah, I know. When I wanted to read.
I wanted the vacation.
Have you started listening to the Golden Compass again? The next section of the Golden Compass?
We're going to do that tomorrow on our drive down to the Bay Area.
I'm starting, so I don't know if anybody else has read the Golden Compass, but it starts out like the first 5 chapters are just, they weren't that, I don't know, they didn't grab us that much, and we've been buddy reading it, so I know Chelle was not enjoying it as much either. But I feel like the next 5 chapters is pretty fun. It gets interesting. It gets interesting. The characters are getting more likable, and I'm excited to continue on. I know this is one of Mom loves this book, so she's like super excited that we're getting to more interesting parts of it.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna try to finish Daniel.
it's so many people's favorite series. I know so many people that love this series so much. So I feel like it's got to be good, right? This next section's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting into it for sure. Yeah. Should we do one more sprint?
If you really want to, it is almost 11 o'clock at night, though.
Are you feeling tired?
I'm getting there a little bit.
Okay, we can call it a night, especially because this was a test run. And I want to thank everyone who stuck through it with us. It went fairly well, I think. I figured out how to do the timer. I know how to use the stuff and pull up the things and do all the stuff, so I think it's okay. And yeah, that's late, Kale. So I think this is probably a good time to call it. And so and so thank you so much. Sorry, I got distracted. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we will call it a night here. And let's see. Yes. Yeah, let's call it a night. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for sticking out through it with me on this test run, and I think I'll be able to do it come the 13th. I think it'll go all right. Have a good night, and yeah, it was fun. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.